and welcome to the Merrimack High School for today's contest between the Merrimack Tomahawks and the Broncos from Alvirne High School. The NHIAA and its member schools thank you for coming to support your team today. High school sports are an extension of the classroom learning experience. The student athletes in front of you have worked hard in the classroom and at practices to be able to play here today. As we encourage them to display and demonstrate good sportsmanship, we would also like to ask that you, our fans, help us make this event meaningful for the athletes by showing respect for your team, the opposing team, the coaches, and the officials. We thank you in advance for the positive sportsmanship that you will display. Please be reminded that for the safety of the players, coaches, and officials, all spectators are not permitted on the pitch before, during, or after the game. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Now, let's meet the starting lineups. For the Broncos, number 6, Sean Mendez. Number 13, Adam Wibowo. Number 2, Anthony Branco. Number 16, Colin Lechner. Number 5, Dylan Ryan. Number 8, Connor Tilton. Number 24, Liam Walsh. Number 11, Alex Valenzuela. Number 9, Jason Clement. Number 19, Vitor Pigues. Number 7, Andreas Manetta. The Broncos are coached by Christiane Dubois. And now for the Merrimack Tomahawks starting lineup. In the net, number 0, Connor Boutin. Number 4, Noah Devine. Number 5, Captain Dave Sharma. Number 6, Isaiah Traverso. Number 8, Ryan Cirillo. Number 9, Adrian Talbot. Number 10, Captain Daniel Kobrashenko. Number 12, Luca Cable. Number 17, Captain Caden Martin. Number 20, Nate Johnson. And number 24, Brody Towell. The Tomahawks are coached by head coach Mirsad Islamovic and assistant coach Ray Juno. Thank you. Now if you can, please stand, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for today's matchup, the Merrimack Tomahawks versus the Alvirne Broncos. It's the boys varsity soccer match. My name is Justin Slez. I'm the Assistant Media Services Coordinator for Merrimack TV. I'm joined up top, the press box, with Cam MacDonald on camera today, and I have Grace LeMay back in the studio running some replays and making sure our stream is rolling real nice. Whether you're watching on Comcast Channel 8 HD 1072 on MerrimackTV.com or on the Merrimack TV app. We are so happy to have you as we get ready to kick off on this, I wouldn't call it blustery afternoon, but it's definitely cooling down quite a bit in the last few minutes here. A little overcast. Perfect weather for soccer game, though. Merrimack Tomahawks moving from left to right on the screen. They are in blue. Alvirne Broncos in white, moving right to left. And it looks like the Broncos will be kicking off first here. And here we go, back to Dylan Ryan to start this off. After a nice long anticipated kickoff there. Colin Lechner gets the ball, heads up the sideline. He passes it over to number 8, that's Connor Tilton. To 13, Adam Webowo. And right into the hands of, that looks like Connor Booten today wearing the double zeros. He's usually wearing 0. Looks like he's taken over the double zeros today. And way past the midfield mark. And back down deep into Broncos territory here. There's Sean Mendez taking over and kicks it up the sideline. It's number 16, Lechner. And that goes out of bounds. Throws it into Lechner and right back out of bounds here. Oh, this might be a free kick, actually. Handing off the honors here to, it looks like number 11, Valenzuela. My eyes could be deceiving me. It's all the way across the field here. And actually, that looks like number 11 to number 11, so I was mistaken. I'm not sure what number that is. Tomahawks send it back into Broncos territory. Broncos trying to clear it out. There's number 17, Caden Martin, with the ball. Nice footwork there, but not able to hang on to it. And the Broncos clearing this one out. Kind of moving it toward the center of the field. Nice clear across. And that's number 15 there. Howard, Garrett Howard. He gets a little tripped up by Tomahawks player. And Tomahawks looking to set something up here. There's number 12, Luca Cable. And can't quite get anything going there. That'll be a Tomahawks throw in. And quick work right back into field of play there. And that looks like it's going to be a corner kick for the Tomahawks. Good way to start off the game here for the Tomahawks. Keeping it down on the Broncos' end here. Corner kicks always good for a nice opportunity at the goal. We'll see what they do with it here. Comes the kick. And right into the head of a Broncos player. He sends it, trying to send it out of bounds there. And the Tomahawks will take a throw in. I believe that's Kovrashenko sauntering over to the ball. No, I could be mistaken, actually. All this talk about the Merrimack TV binoculars getting brought, but I still have not brought them. They're just way tucked away in the storage closet. I just can't get to them. As Broncos looking to try and get it past that midfield marker, but having trouble as the Tomahawks really putting the pressure on here. Here's Caden Martin with the ball, trying to make his way past the defenders, and he can't. And there's number 24. Plumley sends it up past the midfield marker, but here we go. And that's number 29, Owen Supernant. Tomahawks keeping the pressure on. The Broncos doing their best to try and clear it out of here, and they just can't seem to make it up there. And this is going to be a goal kick. Unless I'm sorely mistaken, which it looks like I am. Nothing new here, as it appears that Caden Martin is going to kick this one in. We'll see what the Tomahawks can do with this one. Comes the kick. Well-placed ball. Hits the head of a couple Tomahawks, but they can't do anything with it, and the Broncos send it up the sideline. It's Lechner. And looks like we get a sub coming in here. Who will take the throw in for the Broncos? He throws it in. And the Tomahawks come up with the ball again. Pass it back, trying to set something up here. It's the Broncos with a dangerous header back toward their defenders. But luckily they clear it out to the sideline. And they're making their way up the right sideline. But with some pursuit from the Tomahawks defender, he sends it right back to Booten to see what he can do with the ball before things get out of hand. Adam Weibuo takes the header, sends it back towards the Tomahawks goalie. Tomahawks take back over and right up that far sideline again. Number 17, Ryan Burke with the ball. Got a whistle coming in here. And we're going to have a look and see what the refs have to say. Looks like it's going to be a free kick for the Tomahawks. And they just take a short kick back a little bit to see if they can set something up. And to no avail. Broncos trying to clear it out. Oh. A lot of arm work going on between a couple of the opposing players here. Nice cross in, little too far. And that's going to find the feet of a Broncos player, and they're going to send it right up the far sideline. Tomahawks with the ball again. It's number 8, Ryan Cirillo with it. He passes it off. And just a little too much of a lead there as Supernant gathers it up. And battling for the ball at the midfield line, and they're going to get a pushing call on the Tomahawks, and there'll be a free kick for the Broncos. Number 21, Shane Plumley is going to take this kick. Oh, and they've switched it off. Ryan Burke is taking the kick now. Plumley heads up the sideline. Kick to Valenzuela. over to Plumlee. And Broncos finally seeing their way into Tomahawks territory, but it's short-lived. The Tomahawks send it right back over the midfield marker towards Alvirne side of the field. And Alvirne kind of kicking up the gear here, trying to set something up. And they send it up into the goalie box, but here comes Booten to fall on it, and don't know if you got caught there. Alvirne player checking to make sure Booten's all right. Ref having a word. Booten with a kick just about to the midfield mark. Falls to the feet of a Broncos player. It's number 19, Victor Pegas. And that's going to clear out the back end of the field. Which might be looks like it's going to be a corner kick here for Alvirne. And Alvirne's going to hope they can put something together here with this corner kick, as the sideline gets number 13 the ball, Adam Weibowo. Alvirne player's back kind of way up there as he sends it in right to a Tomahawks player. He heads it up toward the midfield line, and Tomahawks gain control of the ball. And it's bounced right back by a Broncos player and sent back up to the Broncos keeper. And he heaves it out, trying to get it out there to one of his players, but gathered up by a Tomahawks player and right out of bounds. Broncos toss it in. Broncos have possession of the ball. Got some players moving up the field here pretty quick, and defender pokes it away, and Tomahawks gain possession of the ball. It's number 10 there, Kovrashenko, up to Talbot. And Alvirne takes over once again. Alvirne having some struggles getting it up past this midfield mark, but when they do, they kind of kick it into gear and head up the field. But a very tough Tomahawks defense, as we've seen all year long, giving Alvirne some trouble here. And Broncos are just going to kick that one out of bounds. And Tomahawks find their way on the Broncos sideline here. Broncos side of the field. Merrimack gets tripped up, but he's right back up with the ball. Broncos trying to kick it away, but Merrimack keeps possession here. And they're trying to set something up, but Broncos are saying, nope, not right now. And a whistle finally comes in. It's getting a little chippy down there. And Broncos will benefit from this free kick. Surveys the field. Looks like he's picked a nice spot to kick to. And he lets her rip. And taken by a Tomahawks player. Sends it back down toward the Broncos end. And here's Caden Martin with the ball. Sends it over to Cirillo, and there's a whistle. Looks like another free kick for the Broncos. And they move quick, but Tomahawks take it. Tomahawks trying to find something. Caden Martin sends it back. And a scuffle for the ball right in the middle of the field there. And Supernaut's going to kind of chase it out of bounds, and he will take the goal kick. as we see Hunter Joseph get subbed in. Short kick out to the sideline for the goal kick. And Alvirne Broncos just trying to make their way up that far sideline. I've had some pretty good luck with that sideline so far, but as have the Tomahawks as they come right back in the other direction. Sends it over to the middle. Tomahawks, Caden Martin hoping for a kick there and just cleared out. And Booten comes way out of the goal, and he finds himself on his bum there. He gets back up. Almost about 30 yards out of the goal there, and dangerous play as he finds himself falling to the turf there, the grass. Tomahawks back on Alvirne's end. And they're in that corner. Ryan Cirillo kind of throwing his hands up. Not sure if I missed something there, if he's just being jubilant. And the keeper, Owen Supernaut's going to be taking this goal kick. Not sure if he'll be taking that same approach where he sends it to the outside to a nearby Broncos player, or if he's just going to let it rip. And he does let it rip up the corner. For number 7, Marinetta takes the ball, sends it back. It's Ryan Cirillo with the ball, sends it over to Martin. Martin with the kick, and that's going to go too high. But a nice try there for Caden Martin.
While I have you, I just want to say thanks for watching today's event on Merrimack TV. If you're interested in learning more about Merrimack TV, email Nicholas Avalli or Justin Slez at merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov.
Thank you, Cam. Yes, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email if you have any questions. Volunteer opportunities, you just want to check out what we do. Let us know, merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov, as Tomahawks looked like they were going to make something there, but quickly poked away by the Alvirne defense. Alvirne sends it up that far sideline. And Alvirne's going to throw it inbounds, backwards to a defender, and then up the field. Pair opposing players jumping for the header there. And Alvirne comes up with the ball, looking for someone to pass to. Sends it back to his defender. That's Ryan Burke. And Tomahawks come up with it, and here we go. And a nice shot there for the Tomahawks, but Supernaut taking care of business. That was Luca Cable with the shot. And Alvirne trying to get something going on the near sideline here, as Tomahawk shut it down pretty quick. Cable back to Martin. Martin up the sideline. I believe that's Ryan Cirillo. Cirillo on the sideline, looking for something to happen. Makes his way around the defender. And that's going to be cleared out of the back end by a Broncos defender for a corner kick for Tomahawks here. It's number 21, Shane Plumley, coming up, taking care of business for the Broncos. The help from, I believe, number 6, Sean Mendez. And in comes a corner kick. Well placed, but right into the hands of the keeper. Nice setting it right there in front of the goal, but the sure hands of Supernaut taking it in and sending it right back up the sideline. Tomahawks at midfield with the ball. It's Caden Martin with the ball, sends it up. Looking for Luca Cable, and can't quite get him there. And Broncos keeper coming pretty far out of the goal here to basically send that ball all the way to the fences.
Laying down the law.
Yes. So he's not letting it get past him there. Tomahawks throw it in, and that goes right to the Broncos, and the Broncos are going to come up with what looks to be a free kick for tripping. I would say that was a not on purpose tripping, but that might be subjective. Broncos send it up towards the Tomahawks end, and Tomahawks send it right back to midfield. Here's Hunter Joseph sending it up the far sideline. And Luca Cable hoping to get there before the keeper, but he does not. Supernauts there first, just barely. And finding some room up the far sideline of the Broncos, and this great Tomahawks defense just taking care of business as they send it to midfield. And they're looking to put something together here. Got about a 4-on-4 for now. And just too many white shirts right now. Two players using their bodies there. Ryan Cirillo on Shane Plumley. And Cirillo's just going to clear that one out. Broncos heading in with a throw in. Take it, Tomahawks. Looking like they're putting something together here. And quickly poked away by the defense. Oh my goodness gracious. Caden Martin with a nice kick to the top corner there, and just off the hands of Supernaut, and that looked like it might have almost bounced in, but just off that top crossbar. Nice stop by number 29. It's Owen Supernaut. And we're going to see another corner kick here by the Tomahawks. Sends it in. They're pretty well placed. Keeper drops it initially, but gathers it right back up. And he heaves it over to the near sideline here. Sends it up to midfield. Tomahawks send it right back in. And Broncos defense trying to just get it out of there. And the two opposing players kind of linked up for a minute. To be Cirillo and Plumley kind of linked together. And Cirillo kind of throwing his hands up. Here's Traverso, sends it in. Kovarshenko with it. Kovarshenko. Back over to Cirillo. Cirillo. Oh my goodness. And waiting right there, Caden Martin, but not able to connect. Cirillo might have been able to just put it in himself. Not sure which way he was going with it, but Caden Martin just waiting there and not able to get there. And another close call here for the Broncos as they keep it even 0-0. Supernaut winds up and then does kind of a light tap out to the defender on the far sideline there. Fooled me a little bit. Tomahawks defense playing just past the midfield line and keeping it past the midfield line as they're putting the pressure on now. Here's Traverso trying to send it up, and Broncos come up with it. And their Broncos are putting on the speed here. They just are having a hard time getting past this absolute wall of a defense that the Tomahawks are putting up today. And Tomahawks send it right back toward midfield. This one goes back to Garrett Howard on the Broncos, and he gives it up pretty quickly to the Tomahawks' Ryan Cirillo. And trying to make their way up the sideline, but just goes out of bounds. Caden Martin trying to keep up with that one, but just a couple steps too late on that. Here's Dylan Ryan looking for a double knot on that shoelace. And hopefully that'll be secure through the end of the half as he gets ready to throw in. Gives a toss. That's off the head of Luca Cable, a Tomahawks player, and he keeps it right in the Alvirne zone here. Cirillo with the ball. Passes it over. And Broncos trying to clear it out, but got midfield keeping it right in their zone there, and can feel like the Tomahawks are ready to come up with a nice goal here. You can really feel it here, but not quite able to get it in between the posts yet.
And if you're enjoying this game, check out more MHS sports action by downloading the Merrimack TV app. Merrimack TV is a free download from your device's app store. Download the Merrimack TV app on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, or however you would like to stream any future Merrimack sports, meetings, and etc. Watch live varsity sports, concerts, meetings, events, and other on-demand content. You're watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.
Thank you, Cam. So get right back into it. Tomahawk still applying that pressure. And we're going to apply the pressure to you to download that Merrimack TV app, of course. Free download.
Don't even have to make an account.
Nope. And there's Noah Devine with it. Passes it back to Brody Toll. Toll sends it up the far sideline. And he's frustrated with that one. He's thought he was keeping it in there, but that's going to be a goal kick. Supernaut sending up the far sideline. Right to the feet of a Broncos player, but not for long as the Tomahawks sneak up on him. And they've got the ball again, and there it is. Top right corner for Adrian Talbot. Great shot. Takes the opportunity and puts it away for the Tomahawks, and they are up 1-0. As the clock ticks just past 12 minutes to play in this first half.
Incredible shot.
Yes, absolutely.
They were keeping that just consistent pressure all this first half, and it seems to now be paying off for them.
Yes, finally.
Find some cracks.
Absolutely. Broncos send it away. And Tomahawks aren't going to let up here. And Tomahawks get the throw in and waste no time getting it back in. It's Caden Martin on the sideline. He sends it over to Kovrashenko. Back to Martin. And he's going to cross it in. And no one there. I mean, there's folks there, but no one to connect. Nice cross all the way across the net, and pressure's still on for the Broncos as a long kick out from way outside the goalie box. And that's just going to be a goal kick for Supernaut. Picking a nice corner to set it away from. That looks like the spot. And that little tap out to the sideline, and they try and send it up that far sideline again. But Merrimack Tomahawks seem to be all over that one. Broncos, I speak too soon, as the Broncos are able to get it past the midfield marker, and they're still moving with that ball. Oh, and Broncos just catch the back of Traverso, as that looked like it was going to be a nice setup for the Broncos out on the near sideline here. Looked to be Garrett Howard open, but well off on the kick. Dylan Ryan sends it in to Valenzuela. Over to Howard. Howard back to Ryan. And Tomahawks send it back. And that's number 24 of the Broncos, Liam Walsh, sending it all the way across the field. The length of the field, oof, and that could have been a very bad slip there.
Yep.
Kind of slipped just as Tomahawks players trying to make the kick and almost caught one in the face. That would have been unfortunate to say the least. And here's Nate Johnson taking it and sending it right back to Connor Booten. Booten with the kick, just about past midfield. And Tomahawks' Ryan Cirillo takes it up right-hand sideline, starts heading in a little bit, takes a peek over at Morrison. Morrison not able to gather it up there. And Caden Martin trying to grab it, but unable to. Valenzuela takes it, sends it out to the right-hand sideline, the far sideline. And out comes Booten, fall right on top before the Broncos player can get there. Booten rolls it out. Tomahawks right through the middle of the field here. And trying to find someone on the sideline there, and just a little too far for Noah Morrison, as he actually does come up with the ball, but the opportunity for the shot slipped away. And Tomahawk sending it right back into Supernaut. And if you're at home listening to me pronounce these names horribly wrong, please check out today's post on Facebook, Merrimack TV Facebook page. You can leave a comment under the post about today's game. Whether you want to shout out, whether you want to give me some phonetic spelling of these players' names, we'd love to hear from you. Tomahawks fans, Broncos fans, let us know how you're watching, who you're rooting for. Merrimack TV Facebook page, as Cirillo looking like he wants the shot there. And another one. Another one. And I think that was number 17, Caden Martin, with the shot there. And a beautiful, beautiful shot. Cirillo kind of passing it up, and Martin taking the opportunity, as we have about 6.5 minutes in this first half. Tomahawks now up 2-0 on the Alvirne Broncos. Broncos send it back to their defenders. Defenders try to send it back up to midfield, but having a hard time with that very aggressive Tomahawks front. And another jinx here as they send it all the way up into Tomahawks territory, and that's just going to be cleared out to the sidelines for a Broncos throw-in. It's going to be Shane Plumley. The big toss in. It's off the head of Valenzuela. And we're just going to keep tossing it in here from the Broncos. Throws it in. Tomahawks trying to come up with it here. They can't. Broncos giving themselves some space away from those defenders to pass. Hits it back once. And so well defended by the Tomahawks here. Just when it looks like they're starting to put something together for the Broncos, Tomahawks are poking it out, and it's right back up to midfield and now in Broncos territory. So Broncos finally get the ball back and send it out to the far sideline near midfield. And he's wasted no time throwing it right back in. It's Caden Martin with the header. Sends it up. And back in midfield again. And nice moves there by Caden Martin, and he's going to get caught with a hard slide right into the leg from a Broncos player, and he's a little bit slow to get up. Doesn't look like he's wearing shin pads. And Caden Martin directing his team up for this free kick that he's taking. We're just kind of milling around, waiting for something to develop, but he's going to take a look. He might just take this himself. Sends it right into the wall of white shirts. Bounces off of them, and oh my goodness. And Supernaut falling on the ball. He looks like he almost lost it there for a second, but comes up with it and sends it right out to that far sideline. And two Broncos can't decide who's going to take the ball, so they end up losing it to a Tomahawks player. And he's up the sideline. He sends it toward midfield, and Tomahawks try and send it back out, and that's just going to go out the back end of the field of play, and it'll be a goal kick. Supernaut with the kick. Sends it up the far sideline. It's right to the feet of Valenzuela. Looks like he keeps it as he sends it up. And that's going to make its way up the far sideline deep into Tomahawks territory. He has got a nice cross there, but a little too high. And it looks like, I'm not sure if that's Sean Mendez. He's on the closest part of the sideline here, and I still can't read his number. But a waiting Broncos player, but just a little too far out of reach for a header. That is number 8, Connor Tilton, as Booten takes the kick. Makes its way quickly past the midfield mark. And Cirillo thought he had a good kick up to his teammate. And Tomahawks can't quite keep possession of it as Cirillo turns on the burners to try and take it back here, but a little too late. That's number 22 for the Broncos. Brady Gavin. Brady, number 22. And that is going to be a corner kick for the Broncos. Got Booten trying to direct some of the traffic here for the Tomahawks. And Boone way out of goal there, and fortunate that just made its way back to the other side of the goal, and that's going to be a goal kick. I mean, I guess he wasn't that far out, but when there's a lot of action happening there, I want to make sure you're right there at the ball. As Booten takes a look at the field and kicks it. That's going to fall just short of the midfield marker. And a header from the Broncos is going to send it right back into Tomahawks territory. And who else but Dave Sharma just up the sideline and out of bounds. Dylan Ryan taking the throw in, throws it back to number 24, Liam Walsh, his defender, and he tries to send it up, and it goes right into the feet of a Tomahawks player. A lot of white shirts, but hoping something will develop there for the Tomahawks, but it does not, as the Broncos defenders send it back up toward midfield. There's Shane Plumley with the ball. Sends it back to Valenzuela. Valenzuela tries to kick it over to one of his other players there. That's number 2, Anthony Branco, and it's definitely getting a little chippy around here, as there's going to be a free kick for what appears to be the Broncos. One of the refs are going to talk with Shane Plumley here, and Plumley is going to head out of the field of play for now. Not sure if he caught any of that, Cameron. I'm looking down at my sheet here, so I didn't really see.
It looks like just a little bit of tension between the two teams.
Yep, and we're at that 2-minute mark. I don't know when we hit it, but that 2-minute mark stays frozen until the ref's clock ticks down to 0 for this first half, as his free kick sent right up to about the edge of the goalie box and gathered up by Booten. And I believe that's going to be the end of the first half here, folks. Really great half here for the Merrimack Tomahawks, really keeping the pressure on. Ball really, for the majority, staying in the Broncos territory. A lot of really good opportunities early on for shots here by the Merrimack Tomahawks, and they finally connect toward the end of I believe the first one was near the 12-minute mark, and then another one around the 6-minute mark. So, of course, the Tomahawks are up 2-0. A couple opportunities for the Broncos, but they haven't been having a real hard time getting past that very stout Tomahawks defense. So hard for them to kind of break that loose. Took a couple opportunities there, but not able to connect quite yet, as the two coaches will have some words with their players. Christian Dubois for Alvirne. We'll see if they can drop a little bit of a switch up here for the game plan and see if they can't get to the Tomahawks with a little bit of a different look. And, of course, Islamovic and assistant coach Juno are going to talk with the Tomahawks, probably give them some kudos. I'm sure there'll be some words on things they could improve, but overall, really good looking half for the Tomahawks, as they kept the majority of the control of the ball for the most part. We're going to be looking what looks to be like it might turn into. I don't want to predict like a heated second half, but there's definitely some tension going on right towards the end there. Hopefully they can kind of iron that out and just keep it friendly. And I think Cam is going to tell us a little bit about Merrimack TV.
Yeah, so the town of Merrimack's media division is branded Merrimack TV. The division is funded by way franchise fees from Comcast cable subscribers in Merrimack. The town of Merrimack is a community TV facility located at Sikbabusik Lake Road. Our 4 cable channels reach over 5,000 homes. We're accessible online at merrimacktv.com and on the Merrimack TV app. You're watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.
Thanks, Cam. Well done. It's the voice of Cam MacDonald. believe this is his 3rd or 4th game, and he's doing an excellent job. We had him set up all the gear today, and he just did an awesome job. So very happy to have Cam as an on-call media assistant.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Always happy to have some new faces that are getting it done here at Merrimack TV. If you want to find out more about Merrimack TV, you're looking for volunteer opportunities, you want to just come up and see the studio, see what we have to offer, you can email myself, Justin Slez, the Assistant Media Services Coordinator, or Nicholas LaValle, the Media Services Coordinator for Merrimack TV. You can get at us at merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. We'd love to hear from you. As Cam had said, our studio is at 6 Babusick Lake Road. That's at Town Hall in the West Wing. So if you're heading up that ramp, you would take a left instead of a right to where you would go to register your cars and all kinds of other good stuff. You take a left into the West Wing and head right up the stairs. Merrimack TV will be behind that big glass door on the right. All the way down that hall will be the Matthew Thornton room, where a lot of the big meetings happen. We take care of those meetings as well. We're recording those. We get town council, zoning board, school board, planning board, all kinds of good stuff happening down there. So if you've ever been in a meeting there, you might have seen that big glass pane in the back, and we are in the control room right there, controlling a set of 4 cameras and running the audio and making sure whether you're in the audience or at home that you're seeing and hearing everything just fine from those meetings. We also have a community studio just behind that control room as well that's free for anyone in the community to use. We have a lot of talk show style community shows, probably the easiest thing you can do, but if you want to talk about a community show you might want to do, that's free for you to use. You show up and we can kind of talk about it as far as talk show stuff goes. You know, show up with a guest or two, have your game plan hammered out, and you know, we'll do the cameras, we'll do the audio for you, and once you're done recording your show, as long as you bring a thumb drive, you'll have a video file that I'll be able to hand off to you, and you can do with that whatever you like, whether it's posted on YouTube, posted on your social media. All we ask is that we also have a video file to put on Merrimack TV. So we'd love to have you check that out. We also have some equipment, if you'd be so inclined to take that out as well. Same caveat is that if you're using the equipment, whatever you happen to produce with it, that we are able to show it on Merrimack TV. So, still got quite a few minutes here, so you're going to hear me yap a little bit about what we got coming up on our sports calendar. Looks like tomorrow's already Wednesday, huh?
Crazy.
Crazy.
It's going this fast.
Crazy. So Wednesday, we have a varsity volleyball game. Salem is coming to town. The Salem Blue Devils will be in the H. Dana Taylor Gymnasium with the Merrimack Tomahawks. That is a 5:15 start time.
And you don't want to miss those volleyball games.
You really don't. This volleyball team this year is looking red hot, and they are they just put up a lot of good points, and they've got a lot of good sets under their belt, and they're looking really strong this year. So if you're not on board with volleyball yet, you can check out some of the past games on the Merrimack TV app. You can tune in on the Merrimack TV app tomorrow at 5:15 if you don't want to go down to the gym. Merrimack girls volleyball team is looking good so far this year. They do, as Brian Gagnon, who will be calling the game tomorrow, he's kind of mentioned they'd have a little bit of an easier schedule to start the season and a bit of an uphill climb towards the end here. So we'll see if they can stand up to the adversity of some of the tougher teams in the league here. Keep our fingers crossed for that. That's been a really, really fun watch this year so far. On Thursday, we have the girls' varsity soccer team with Manchester Memorial in town. That is a 4 p.m. kickoff time. I believe in my notes I have Chris Ortega will be joining us. That'll be his first game that he's calling with us this year. We're so happy to have Chris on board calling in that game. So we'll look forward to having Manchester Memorial here for the girls' varsity soccer match and Chris Ortega in the house. You may know him as the former school board chair and some other volunteer opportunities he's done in town. So look forward to seeing him. And we actually are off this Friday from football, so you won't be seeing any Friday night lights in town here. But the following week you will see what looks to be Wyndham on October 11th. We'll have Andy Berkeley in studio. We won't have Rob DeFelice, unfortunately, that week. Maybe we can get an extra fill-in for that one. Varsity football team looking pretty good so far. And let's see, Monday. This is a fun one that we just got to add to our schedule, and we are very excited to do it. We have the varsity girls field hockey team is welcoming Manchester Memorial. This is going to be their senior night. So for senior night, they've decided to move it down here to Student Memorial Field. The infrastructure here is a lot better for broadcast, for recording as well as live broadcast. I don't know that the live broadcast would work as well down at the other fields. It's just we have a very good vantage point down there, so we're so happy to welcome them here down at Student Memorial Field, where we can give you the best production experience for watching at home. And we wish them luck on Monday evening. That looks to be 4:45. Always check your calendar just in case that happens to change. I believe Brian Gagnon's going to be on board with that one, so we're excited to have that coming. I want to mention, well, I guess I might as well just keep rolling with it. Next Tuesday, boys soccer, week from today, Pinkerton's going to be coming to town. So we'll see them at 4 p.m. And I did want to mention that last Thursday we had a very good time doing the Sauhegan River Trail ribbon cutting. I'm sure you've heard me yap about it a little bit. So we got that done. It was less than ideal weather, but we had a really good turnout. We had who else but Nelson Disco cutting the ribbon for the completion of that Sauhegan River Trail that goes from Watson Park, and that actually links into Wildcat Falls, and just an excellent, excellent job done. If you haven't been over there to see it, it is fantastic. If you want to see the ceremony, we got some heavy hitters that did some special speaking, including Nelson Disco, including the chair and vice chair of the town council, Finley Rothaus and Nancy Harrington, respectively. Of course, that was hosted by who else but Nicholas LaValle,
The one and
your
only
media services coordinator, as this has creeped all the way up on me, and we're ready to kick off here. Tomahawks take the ball first for the second half. And you can, of course, check out that replay of our recording of the ribbon cutting ceremony on the Merrimack TV app. Just type in Sauhegan River Trail ribbon cutting ceremony or any number of those keywords, and I'm sure it'll pop right up for you. Watch that on demand. Also be on our cable channels at select times. As Broncos take over for a free kick here. And Tomahawks sending it right up past midfield. And Tomahawks looking a little fired up here.
I'm already feeling some of that tension.
Yeah.
From the end of that last half.
A little bit. Luca Cable coming up quick there. As Cirillo sends it out. That's to Talbot. Talbot sends it right back up to Cirillo, who's there up the near sideline. Tomahawks, of course, moving from right to left on your screen. Talbot makes his way around these defenders and gets caught up by just one too many white shirts there. And there's Tomahawks' Nate Johnson trying to get a hold of it and send it right back up. But he loses it to the Broncos. Broncos lose it to Tomahawks, and Cirillo trying to turn it around, and looks like they're trying to get a little pushy there, but trying to keep it under control by the looks of it. And this is going to be a throw-in for Alvirne. There's number 5, Dylan Ryan, with a toss over to number 11, Valenzuela. Valenzuela up the near sideline here. Sends it back to Howard. Howard back up to Valenzuela. And Nate Johnson taking that one on the side and sending it out of bounds. So it's going to be a throw-in for the Broncos, as Broncos finding their way down in Tomahawks territory pretty early here. Something they struggled with in the first half was breaking through. And they're going to see if they can get something going here early on to give them some life in this game. And already the speed here by the Broncos is looking good. If they can keep that energy up. And Weibo thought he was going to take the kick, but he passes that off to, is that Weibo still? No. I wish they had the big numbers on the front too, but they don't. Broncos take the kick. That goes a little far and outside for that corner kick. Right to a Tomahawks player. Broncos come up with it. Nice kick there, but that's going to go a little high for the Broncos. And Broncos coming out swinging here in the first half. Really putting on the pressure for the Merrimack Tomahawks. Here's Connor Booten. We're in the double zeros today. Omar Rajic's usually wearing double zeros, but Booten has got that jersey on today. He's going to take the goal kick for the Merrimack Tomahawks. Good kick there, about 10 yards short of the midfield mark. Gathered up by Merrimack Tomahawks. He tries to head it up. That was Kayot. And Cirillo trying to get control. He cannot. It's number 5, Dylan Ryan with it. Sends it over to Sean Mendez. Ryan back up. Valenzuela with the ball. Back to number 13, Weibo. Weibo back. And then up the far sideline there. Tomahawks, I believe that's Luca Cable. And he is coming in hot, folks. And that is a nice kick, but right into the hands of Supernaut. Good opportunity there. Not really waiting for anything to develop, just kind of take the shot when it's there. And Tomahawks kind of giving that pressure right back. And as the wind's picking up a little bit, a little chilly. So we get a throw in from a Tomahawk player. And sends it all the way up the sideline. And they're going to keep it in Broncos territory here. A nice cross in, but right into the hands of Supernaut. And he quickly rolls it out to his sideline there. Of course, Dylan Ryan sends it up quick. And bouncing right back past the midfield mark thanks to a Tomahawks player. Tomahawks gather it up, and they've got numbers up front now. They got 5 of them rolling, and Supernaut trying to gather it up, and wow. He kind of falls. He gets back up and gets back to goal really quick, just in time to punch that shot out of range of the goal there. And Tomahawks player gather it back up. And they keep the pressure on. Really, really great heads-up play there by Supernaut when he isn't able to come up with that ball. It's number 15, Garrett Howard, making his way around. Sends it up. And Tomahawks using their body to kind of square him out. Broncos. Couple good passes here. This one's Garrett Howard on the far sideline. A little far there, but he gathers it up, and he's trying to make his way around number 24, Brody Toll. Toll coming up with it, and ref's holding his arms out. I think that just means he's not going to make any kind of call. Kind of like a what's the matter you arms out situation, and here's a real good shot here, and that is another arms out situation by the ref on that side. Oh my goodness, did that go in?
Yep, I think that went in.
And just through the hands of Supernaut, and it just a nice,
I wish
just
we
a
had a replay for that one.
A slow roll, and I think Grace is back,
yeah,
giving us the replay hopefully on that one. That is, it's kind of a heartbreaker roll right there when it's just slips through the hands, and it's not even, it's just kind of a slow roll right there. And Tomahawks find themselves up 3-0 pretty quick here in the first less than 8 minutes of the second half. Broncos really not looking too bad. They've had a couple opportunities here, getting it down in the Tomahawk zone. Tomahawks just coming up with the play here first in this half. And a little handsy here still with some of the players out there. Ref's going to just let him play. It's out to Caden Martin. Caden Martin out to Talbot. Talbot sends it right back in. Little spin move and get Kovrashenko kind of getting tangled up there and falls. It's Brody Toll waiting to see if it's going to go out, but it does not. Gathers it up and gives it a kick. It's Kayot sends it up, and Broncos get control again. Toll not letting that happen. He sends it right back in. Kovrashenko out to Talbot. Talbot crosses over, and the defense stands tall there for the Alvirne Broncos, as he seemed to be the only one there for that cross. Broncos trying to make their way past that midfield mark, which they had a lot of trouble with in the beginning of this first half. And ref blows the whistle. We're going to get a free kick here for the Merrimack Tomahawks, as everyone but the goalie playing up past the midfield mark. Tomahawks looking to keep that pressure up. Oh my goodness gracious, and kind of Tomahawks are going up 4-1 here. Goalie tries to come out and grab it. One of his defenders gives it a header right out to a Tomahawks player, and they send it right back in, and that finds its way into the goal. And super not happy about that one. Kind of throwing his hands up. Thanks for humoring me on that one, Cam.
Yeah,
I
that
really,
was a good one.
I just very much appreciate it.
Hope
You
the
don't have
audience
to
really get away
lie
from
and
that
say it's a
one.
good one, but I do appreciate the laugh.
That was a very good one.
So,
Actions speak louder than words.
I'm here for 29 more minutes, folks. If you have any suggestions for puns or wordplay, head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/MerrimackTV, as Tomahawks putting the pressure back on. This is Cade Martin. Sends it back out to Kayot. Kayot back in, up, and right into the hands of Supernaut once again. Supernaut really quite a few good saves here throughout the game. Has bobbled the ball just only a couple times here off some kind of crazy hits, but he's been a very sure-handed, dependable goalie for some of these high intensity plays that kind of end up in his part of the field. Here's Talbot with the ball. Broncos get it, send it out. Tomahawks players looking to set something up here, but they cannot, as the Broncos come up with it, and they got space out on the near sideline here. That's Garrett Howard with the ball, and he's got a player there waiting for him, and he's kind of sneaking up. Shane Plumley with the ball and looking for some help up there for the Broncos as they kind of made their way past what's been a very tough Tomahawks defense and almost came away with the opportunity, but not quite enough white shirts up there for them as Tomahawks defense poke it away. And we're going to get some subs here, some fresh legs on the field, as we've already passed the 12 minutes worth of play here in the second half. If you're enjoying the game, let us know. Head over to Facebook page, Merrimack TV Facebook page, Facebook.com/Merrimack TV if you're on a laptop or computer. And nice cross there by the Broncos. That was Garrett Howard, but right into the hands of Booten. And Booten takes the kick just before the midfield mark, bounces past, and And there's number 23, Tyler Hussey with the ball. And he's hustling, and
Ooh.
he finds that far corner that time.
That was a snipe.
Unbelievable. Supernaut probably looking for the cross, and he just finds just enough angle on that far corner to sneak it in there. And Tyler Hussey turning it up real quick. And Merrimack Tomahawks are looking at a 5-0 game here. Here's Hussey, and he's fired up right now. And those fresh legs on the field paying off with another score for the Merrimack Tomahawks. Tomahawks keeping the pressure on, kind of rolling with the momentum. And that's going to be out of bounds. Out of bounds off of an Alvirne player. Tomahawk's going to throw in. He does, and Broncos send it right out the back end for what's going to be a corner kick for the Merrimack Tomahawks. Tomahawk's gonna try and set it up here. A lot of shirts gathered right up towards the goal there. Little space. In comes the kick. Pretty well placed. That bounces up and out, and there, oh my goodness gracious, and Tomahawks player going for a header. So the kick comes in. It bounces off either the hands of Supernaut or off the head of one player. It goes way up in the air. Tomahawk's header tries to send it back in. Bounces back out to the feet of another waiting Tomahawks player, and then right somehow through traffic into that goal. I couldn't even see who scored that one. As the Broncos are kind of left without answers here. They're going to get a free kick and see if they can maybe shift a little bit of the momentum their way. Got a pretty steep deficit to overcome, but I think they'd like to just see a few points on the board here. And that free kick somehow makes its way past a handful of players. And Nate Johnson in the back there to just clear it out. It's number 14, Ratunde. Sends it up. It's a good cross again, but comes up just short, and we're going to see a goal kick. From Owen Supernaut. He gives a nice kick just about to midfield there, but gathered up by the Tomahawks. Here's Dunnican. Tries to send it over, loses it. Nate Johnson sends it up far corner, and that is going to actually roll out of bounds on the sideline, so we're going to get a throw-in from number 2, Anthony Branco. Branco sends it in towards his goal. To one of his defenders. They gather it up, and it's out once again on the Merrimack Tomahawk. So Branco again sends it to one of his, I believe that's Liam Walsh, one of his defenders. And another throw in by number 2. Once again, sends it back to his defender. He's going to send it to the far end. That's number 24, Liam Walsh, sends it all the way across the field. And can't make their way up that sideline. Merrimack Tomahawks send it right back into Broncos territory. And Broncos just cannot find an answer for the wall that the Tomahawks have put up at this midfield mark. And if they're able to get past that, another very, very tough wall put up by the defenders of the Merrimack Tomahawks. As the Broncos with another free kick send it toward the middle of the field, send it all the way back across. Of course, is number 2 once again, Branco. Branco back toward the middle of the field again. It's Liam Walsh. Walsh sends it up to the far end to a waiting Broncos player. Really nice pass there. But so tightly defended, it's hard to get around these Merrimack Tomahawks. And there's Traverso chasing down the ball with looks to be Connor Tilton. And that just gets sent right back up the sideline towards the Broncos' end. It's going to come out just before the midfield mark. And it's going to be a throw-in for the Alvirne Broncos. Broncos player kind of comes up past the defenders to give someone a throw to. Gathers it up for a second, and Tomahawks kind of take it over. Still a little bit back and forth here. And Tomahawks right up the sideline again. Broncos, that's number 16, Colin Lechner, trying to find his way out of that situation. And he does. To Plumley. Plumley back to Branco. Branco towards the middle of the field there. Trying to be gathered up by Lechner. Lechner sends it up. And that's trying to go up the far sideline there. It does, but it's going to bounce out of bounds just a few yards shy of that corner kick flag. It's, of course, the technical term for it. Don't look that up. And we're going to have a Merrimack Tomahawks throw in. Tomahawks right to a Broncos player, but comes right back to him on the sideline. Tomahawks gather it up, trying to send it up to midfield, down the far sideline, heading toward the middle of the field, and that gets gathered up by number 19 of the Broncos. That's Pegas. Pegas sends it up the near sideline here, and good opportunity there for the Broncos. It's Galvin and I believe Plumley were there, but Booten able to gather it up. He sends it way out to Toll. Toll trying to get away from Galvin. He sends it all the way across to the opposite side of the field. And we're going to get a whistle on, look to be some more chippy play out there. Cam, I don't know if you can see well enough on your end. I know you're trying to keep a little zoomed out for the field of vision. But we're going to assume some sort of penalty as we get a free kick here by the Broncos. Surveying the field. I don't know if he's waiting for a whistle or nope, he's just going to let it rip. Right to a Broncos player. He's trying to find some space. He does not, and Tomahawks send it right up past the midfield mark, and they are two opposing players fighting for it on that far sideline. And that's just going to roll out of bounds. There might be a free kick here, actually. Ref kind of giving a weird signal, a little bow of some sort maybe. And here's a free kick. And Tomahawks not waiting around. They're keeping the pressure up, even though they're up 6-0 right now, but they're not going to let up here.
A little bit of frustration there.
Yeah, frustration getting the best of both teams right now. So we've seen a couple free kicks on both sides. It's Dunnikin. Sends it up right into the middle of the field there. And a nice kick by, I think that was Cirillo, but I cannot see. Might have been Noah Devine, actually, with the nice kick there, going a little far to the left, but comes the hustle by Supernaut. That went all the way to the far fence. That has got to be like 35 yards from the goal. So Supernaut getting the steps in today. Certainly had his work cut out for him, as Tomahawks are benefiting from a 6-0 score. That was Brady Galvin trying to gather it up there, but just sends it out of bounds. And Toll is going to throw it in. Ratunde. Got to get some phonetic spelling on this one for sure. Apologies to Felix. And Broncos are working with it at midfield. Tomahawks attackers able to poke it away and try and take control of it, but Broncos not letting that happen as they get it right back to midfield here and past midfield. It's number 21, Shane Plumley, trying to keep control of it. He does not, as the Tomahawks gather it up and send it up that far sideline. Number 4, Noah Devine, trying to send it in. Toll. Brady Galvin trying to find his way up. Bounces back to the defenders. And that's Dunnikin trying to send it toward the goal. Nate Johnson keeps it up past the midfield marker. And Brady Galvin trying to get it up to 21 there, Shane Plumley. And he gets picked, and that gets sent right back over the midfield marker. A lot of midfield play here right now as both teams try and find themselves an opportunity to score. Broncos still at midfield here. And he's going to send that one up to number 19. It's Pegas. And Broncos taking the shot, but was not going past Booten that time. Booten walks this one out to the edge of the goalie box, gives it a boot, and bounces a little past the midfield marker. Here's Toll. Toll with the ball, making his way around two different defenders. Gonna make it 3 here. Nope. Finally, the third defender comes in and tries to clear it out, but does not quite do it. Dunnikin sends it right back in, and here comes Supernaut to gather it up. And Supernaut heaving it out to Brady Galvin. Number 20 for the Tomahawks, Nate Johnson. Picking up the speed here, trying to make his way around. Not able to get past number 16. And there it is. (7-0) Tomahawks. Trying to see what number. It looks like he's wearing 20. Is that 22 or is...
Yeah, it might have been 22, I think.
Looks like 22 on the field. I do not have him on my sheet here, unfortunately. So Tomahawks sneaking another one in there. And Tomahawks right back at it. turning on the burners, and there's Valenzuela for the Broncos, sending it up past the midfield mark. Passes it off to one of his players. And trying to find something for the Broncos. As Broncos are going to throw it in after what looks to be a couple substitutions. Broncos with the throw. Broncos trying to send it up that sideline, but just kick it out of bounds. And Merrimack comes in with a quick throw in. Oof, and that's a hard collision there. And we're going to have a player down on the Broncos. That's Weibuo. And yeah, looks like he got caught up there. Leave that. Just like that. Good. So we're going to hope that he didn't get too much cleat there, as he's a little slow to get up, but he is in fact up and seems to be walking under his own power back to the sideline. Gets the applause as time is ticking down here. We're coming up on the 10-minute mark left here in the second half of today's game, which has been just about all Tomahawks up until this point. Alvirne Broncos having a hard time getting past that tough Merrimack defense. As we resume play pretty quick here. So hopefully Weibuo's doing all right. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name closely enough. And we're going to have another throw in here for the Broncos. Broncos send it to the middle of the field. And that's number 2. He's going to try and send it up. That's Branco. And the Broncos right back in with the throw in. Thinks twice about that one and then tosses it in. Tomahawks kind of poke it up toward midfield, but Broncos maintain control of it. It's number 19, Pegas. And he just trying to take that one himself. Able to make his way past some defenders there, but gets poked away. Broncos send it back out, trying to get some room. Nice pass over. There's number 6, Mendez. Really trying to get hard to get past these 3 different defenders. And Mendez a little fired up. Tomahawks player kind of giving the old shrug-a-doo. What's the matter, you? But I think the matter is being taken up with the officials and by the officials. So we're going to see the free kick here for the Broncos by Pegas. And he might be looking to just send this right in. And he does. A favorable bounce for the Broncos. Brady Gavin tries to turn it around, but just far wide right that time. Unfortunately, not quite the angle on it. Pegas gets a good bounce off of Booten in the goal. Not able to gather it up initially. Gavin trying to send it back, but goes wide. And Tomahawks with the ball. Sends it back to Booten. He's trying to send it up to Toll on the close sideline here, but gets taken over by the Broncos, and now it's right back in Tomahawks' possession as they're making their way quickly into Broncos territory. And they had about 5 players ready to help out on that offensive play if it was able to develop, but we get a whistle blown And we're going to get a free kick for Merrimack. Defense playing well past the midfield marker at this point for the Tomahawks. Got two defenders about 7 yards past the midfield mark, and then everyone else seems to be playing up for this free kick. Broncos are the first ones there, but back out to the initial kicker, and he takes a nice hard kick, and that goes very high and very wide, and that is going to be a long haul for whoever is looking to wrangle that ball. And it looks like we got someone on the sideline here that's he's tried to kick the soccer ball and then loses his shoe. He might want to consider the double knot in the future. And guess they don't like that one, despite the efforts. So goal kick out to the sideline. Sideline defender tries to send it up. Merrimack Tomahawks take over. And kind of a kick right back to Supernaut there. Supernaut gathers it up, sends it back out into the fray. And someone trying to take control here. It's number 17, Ryan Burke, sends it back to Mendez. And Tomahawks having no trouble keeping it in this half of the field right now. Dunnican kind of a casual pass over to, I believe that was number 7, Hunter Joseph. And Joseph getting tangled up with an Alvirne player. Thought I saw a push from Alvirne, but I must have missed something before this. But still a little chippy down there. It's got to be very frustrating for the Alvirne Broncos, who've had some opportunities here, but also having a difficult time trying to get past this Merrimack defense. Here's, of course, Brady Gavin. Back to Sean Mendez. Mendez with a nice, behind the leg there. He crosses it in, but there's no one but Merrimack Tomahawks there, unfortunately. It's Ryan Burke with a little spin move. It's number 7, Mineta. Valenzuela taking it up the sideline, trying to find space, passes it back with plenty of space there, and a nice shot by, I believe, Mineta, but gets deflected off of a Tomahawks player. As time is ticking down quickly here, got about 3.5 minutes. We did have some stoppage for an injury not too long ago. So once that clock does stop at that 2-minute mark, probably be about 3 minutes left of gameplay, but we leave that up to the refs to decide. We'll hear their whistle as Broncos with the corner kick sends it in a little short. And that goes right back out for another corner kick. They're going to, kind of an interesting setup there. Quick kick in, back out to another Broncos player, but can't quite make anything of it that time. As Booten will gather this one up from the track. And Booten sends this one just about to midfield, gets a header to get him past that midfield marker. Broncos with the ball. That's number 19. Pegas. Pegas sends it out to the far sideline to Mendez. Mendez to Manetta. And Broncos able to keep control here and quickly kicked away by the Merrimack Tomahawks, cleared out past the midfield marker. And get a little bit of roll there by, can't tell if that's Kovrashenko. And I don't think they're getting a whistle. This is going to be a throw in. And Tomahawks trying to make something there. It just goes out of bounds past the goal line. So this will be a goal kick by Supernaut. Supernaut sends it out to the sideline to Sean Mendez. And wasting no time is Noah Devine, sending it right back in for the throw-in. Number 22, Gavin. Back to Mendez. Mendez sends it to midfield, trying to get it to midfield. And Broncos able to keep control here for just a moment, and Tomahawks coming back up with it. Here's Tyler Hussey. Hussey with a goal today, of course. It's number 11, Noah Morrison, trying to gather it up and see what he can do with it, but get a whistle from the officials. Time rolls on. Cold wind blows here at Student Memorial Field. Broncos making their way up. They got about five attackers to work with. They don't have 5 attackers, but 5 people up. Not able to do anything with it that time. But there's number 24. Liam Walsh tries to send it back up, and we get the final whistle here from what turned out to be a very strong Merrimack Tomahawks win right here at Student Memorial Field. Tomahawks benefiting from a lot of possession time in the opposing team's half of the field. A lot of really good opportunities early on. Not able to connect initially, but coming up with 7 goals here. 7 impressive goals here for the Tomahawks. Unfortunately, no goals scored by the Broncos. Not without good effort, but a very strong Tomahawks defense, standing tall and looking really good today. Despite the efforts of the Alvirne Broncos. And these teams going to meet at the midfield sideline. So it turned into, it was getting a little bit chippy after that first half. They kind of reeled it in, and then once a couple more goals were scored, it just a little bit of frustration setting in for the Alvirne Broncos, which was just not their game today, unfortunately. Merrimack Tomahawks coming up with a very impressive 7-0 win. Want to thank Cam McDonald, as always, not as always, but as always when he's here anyway, for running the camera for us. Excellent job. We really appreciate that. I want to thank Grace LeMay back at the studio for running the replays today. Gave her plenty to do. Thanks to the Merrimack Tomahawks, making sure our stream is running well. And I want to thank you for tuning in for the next game. And make sure you check out Merrimack Tomahawks volleyball tomorrow for sure. Tomahawk girls looking great this year. Salem coming to town for a 5:15 set time. So we'll be there with Brian Gagnon calling the game for you, as the Merrimack Tomahawks getting a nice ovation from the crowd, as I believe some of the football team has made their way back from practice. And of course, my final thank you, and of most important, if you will, I want to thank you for watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.